Hello everybody, this is just a quick video, off the cuff, rehearsed. It's not like I rehearse normally, to let you know that on November the 4th, myself and Sam Vaknin are doing a live seminar in London called Divorcing the Narcissist or Psychopath. We're going to be looking at various topics within that subject, like managing custody of children with a narcissist or psychopathic personality. We're going to be looking at how to defend yourself in court and how to work the system against a narcissist or psychopath. We're going to be looking at the various forms of gaslighting that you will face and how to defend them. This is taking place on November the 4th, 2018 at the Birkbeck Institute for the Humanities, which is at Birkbeck University in London. I'll put a link to the page where you can get your ticket. We're doing an early bird. I deliberately took the Scouse out of my accent for that. We're doing an early bird special offer, on that one. So I think up until October the 15th, it's going to be available at a cheaper price. So we're doing that on November the 4th from 12 until 3. And then me and Sam will go through those topics and we'll offer you as much advice as we possibly can in regards to helping people get through the incredibly hellish and painful process of divorcing a narcissist or psychopath. Then we're going to take a break for half an hour, 40 minutes. Sam is like me. He can just talk and talk and talk and talk, and we're both fond of the sound of our own voices, so there's no real reason to stop for long. We'll stop at 3:30, neck of coffee, and then from 4 until 6, me and Sam are going to do a live dialogue that's in the vein of what you've seen on YouTube recently. I hope you've enjoyed those videos. I really enjoyed doing the interviews with Sam. I learned a lot, and it's nice to get outside of the narcissism reality tunnel and to discuss politics and economics and culture and religion, and then bring it back, talk about narcissistic personality disorder from the point of view of economics, talk about antisocial personality disorder, psychopathy, exploitation, and religion, that kind of thing. I just find that is more fun. It means it's a bit more taxing for me. It's a bit more challenging for me. I learn a lot more. And Sam really is a wellspring of information on that. For both of those sections, you'll be, if you come, you'll be allowed to ask us questions for the Divorcing the Narcissist or Psychopath seminar, and for the live dialogue section. If there's anything that comes up, you'll be offered the chance towards the end of asking a question and getting a chance to interact with Sam, which I hope a lot more people do. I hope you can see in the interviews, like, I'm really enjoying myself and I'm really looking forward to this. Sam is obviously he has narcissistic personality disorder and is a psychopath. But beyond that, he's a charming fellow. He's a very, very intelligent man, very, very knowledgeable, and happy to answer questions on these subjects if it's framed, politely and in a boundaried way, which is the correct way to approach somebody who is a extremely high IQ'd but cluster B personality disorder having individual, is to approach with caution, with care, in a boundaried, formal and careful way. And I found it works very, very well, and I really enjoy it, and I'm looking forward to it. I want other people to have that experience too, because there's a very, very fun side to being around Sam. He can be extremely generous with his time and very generous with his knowledge as well. And he's a funny guy. He makes me laugh a lot. So if you fancy that, if you're available, that's November the 4th. It's like a month. We're a month away now. The Birkbeck Institute for the Humanities. All of the details will be in the link that I will put in the box below if you want to come along. It's on a special early bird, special offer price up until October the 15th, and then it will go up to the normal price. Okay. If anybody, this is a live video, so if anybody wants to ask a question, you're more than welcome to now. I'll only be on for a couple more minutes, and then I'm going to jump on Facebook and do a live video there. If you do have a question, make it a single sentence and end it with a question mark. Are you guys taping or sharing? To be discussed. You know, I really want people to come and see Sam face to face. I like, if people can come, I really want them to come. Obviously, you know, you get to meet Sam and you get to meet me, and you can, you know, you can have a chat. So it's a whole experience. Will I tape some or all of it? Possibly. What will I do with it afterwards? I'm really not. I haven't thought that far ahead. So if you can come, please do make the effort to come along. I thought somebody had written a question. Are counter dependents essentially a codependent? I don't know the answer to that question. As I understand it, counter dependency would be probably coming from a very similar environment, as in it's a response to childhood trauma, probably from a very smothering parenting style. So where there's a very smothering, you know, love is enslavement, love is suffocation, love is me just forcing my love, so-called love, onto you and sort of using you like an emotional tampon or an emotional dustbin, using my child in that way. The child then associates enslavement, entrapment, suffocation, manipulation to this thing called love. There's a complex equivalence in the child's mind as they grow up into adulthood. From their formative years, they walk around thinking, well, love is being smothered. I don't want to be smothered, so keep love at bay. That's a very brutally simplistic way of describing it. What are your thoughts on self-proclaimed master narcissist H.G. Tudor? I haven't watched enough or read enough to form an opinion. I know that he wants to protect his identity as an English person. I know that a lot of non-English speakers don't pick it up. The accent that he's chosen to do is extremely annoying. But I randomly watched one of his videos for 5 to 7 minutes, and I got good information from it. He was talking about, I think it's called start small and avoid the fall. In his voice, it would be start small to avoid the fall. Like, you non-English, like non-English people are like, well, that's just a British accent, but it's really grating. It's like somebody he sounds like a northern lad trying to do the voice of a posh old lady from the south, and it's like, just use your normal voice. But I know that he's very particular about protecting his identity. But that one video was really, really rock solid, straightforward, practical advice, which was, you know, about protecting your boundaries and just saying start small to avoid the fall. Don't let them, he described it as slicing the salami, like don't let them do the thin slicing of multiple boundary breaks on your first 3 or 4 boundary breaks. Don't wait to 20 tiny boundary breaks, wait to hit them on 3 or 4. That's when you say, okay, stop. That's really good advice. So I'd need to look more at it and stop being so fussy about the accent issue. What ways that codependency is toxic to oneself and those around us? Oh, good Lord, that's too big a question for me to just throw something out here, mate. Codependency is toxic to you because it means that you're always putting, there you go, I just formed a good answer in my head. Oh, on the fly, mate. Codependency is toxic to you because you're perpetually self-sacrificing your needs, which is, I mean, on the surface of it, we don't need to be PhDs in psychology to figure out that that's just a terrible rule to live your life by, to always self-sacrifice and to always put others first at a neurotic, pathological level, not through kindness, not through compassion, not because they're your children, or just neurotically, pathologically. I must put other people first. That's bad. That's how it harms you. How it harms others is, well, one way that it can harm others, apart from breeding like unboundaries entitlement in them, is ultimately resent them. We're talking other YouTube channels here now. Somebody's mentioned another YouTube channel, so let's oh God, some smart person will write it in the comments. He's an Australian gentleman, and he's a clinical psychologist, and he's done YouTube videos about the resentful codependent, and the cycles of resentment a codependent can go through. If you give and give and give and give and give, ultimately you're going to get moody, you're going to be grumpy, you're going to be angry, you're going to be bitter, you're going to be resentful, and that will bleed out onto other people. And then you can end up looking abusive because you're making snide, sarcastic, demeaning comments, because it bleeds out of you. Other people, and I don't know who came up with the term, have termed this reactive abuse. So I abuse you, you overgive to me, then you're going to start being nasty to me because I abused you. And then other people will see you being nasty to me, and who looks like the bad guy or the bad girl now? Whoops. Dr. Said, you wrote Saad, S-A-A-D. It's Said, Dr. Said, but what's the name of his channel, please? It is Dr. Said. Anybody who knows that, if you could write it in the comments, that'd be helpful. I'll answer one more question, and then I will go. Magic Sufi says, Jordan Peterson says to nurture your inner psychopath. I've never heard Jordan Peterson say that, and I doubt that he has said that. He said that you should be in contact with your inner monster, and that's his word for the Jungian shadow self. That is something he has said. Apparently as a defense and detection mechanism. I agree. Do you agree? Within reason? I'd need a reference that says that he actually said psychopath. I don't think Jordan Peterson would say nurture your inner psychopath. I don't think so, unless I've misjudged him, and God knows I've misjudged him before. He definitely said nurture. Well, not nurture, but be in contact with your inner. He said monster, which I liked. I think that's way more useful for modern parlance than saying dark side or shadow self. It's too timid language, and it is kind of what Jung meant. He meant the disavowed, socially unacceptable parts of ourselves. So in modern parlance, we would say monster. And yes, you should be in contact with your inner monster so that you can control it. The example I heard Jordan Peterson give was, if you're hungover and tired and you have a 3-year-old and they're annoying you and you don't understand that dark side of yourself, that inner monster, as he said, I would say an animal at that point, you might snap and say or do something that would be inappropriate. So you need that relationship so it's not suppressed, so you can go, oh, okay, this is where I'm going right now. He also made the point that it's not good to have as a major ambition in life to be as safe a person as possible. That's not a worthwhile thing for a human being to aim for. I just want to be safe, safe to others. I just want to be inoffensive to others. You should also be dangerous. He did go as far as saying, from what I have a pretty good memory for what people have said, and I've listened to enough of his lectures. He did say that you shouldn't shy away from being dangerous because you may need to be. He seems to be speaking against being excessively sterile, excessively anesthetized, excessively civilized. And with that, I would agree. But I mean, the guy teaches personality disorder as part of his work at the Toronto University. So I don't think he would be careless with his words to say, hey, kids, nurture your inner psychopath. I doubt it. Okay, so we'll finish there. Thank you very much for your questions. I'm sorry this is so brief. I'm actually on holiday. This is me on holiday. I may have workaholism, maybe. So November the 4th, Birkbeck Institute of the Humanities, myself and Sam Vaknin. If you're interested, I've been through the experience of going through the experience of divorcing a narcissist or psychopath. That's the first 3 hours. We'll be dealing with the tactics and strategies, and you're getting the inside information from a guy who has an extremely high IQ. Very, very, very well read on this subject and many subjects. But he also is himself a twice diagnosed narcissist and a diagnosed psychopath. So he really has the inside track on that. So all joking aside and, you know, joviality aside, which you will see plenty of between me and him, he can really give you great information on how to manage that procedure in a way that is bereft of nicety, civility, the fluff of, you know, we should be compassionate, we should do this, we should. No, you really, that's not going to be good for you when you're divorcing a narcissist or psychopath. It's going to get very, very nasty. Ask anybody who's been through it in the comments. If you've been through it, let people know what it's like. It's horrendous. Good God knows, like breaking up, just being a girlfriend or a boyfriend with a narcissist or psychopath is a living hell. I can only imagine how awful it would be inside of a marriage. And then I'm there on that section to give advice and to offer some insight on the healing side of it. How do we move forward? How do we overcome the pain, the wounds, the post-traumatic stress response to that singular experience? Never mind narcissistic abuse victim syndrome, CPTSR, just that stressful scenario of going through divorce of a narcissist or psychopath is heavy. So I'll be there to help you with that. And then we'll take a half-hour break. We'll do that from 12 until 3:30, take a half-hour break. And then from 4 until 6, we'll be dialoguing about many things. We'll open it up. We'll open up the whole story. Okay, guys, if you can make it, I'd love to see you there. It's always fun seeing people face to face and, you know, shaking hands with people and having a bit of a chat and a laugh. So if you can, that'll be cool. I'll put the link below now, and you can check out what to do. In fact, let me pick it up. Let me copy this now. Put it in there, comments. Very cool. Okay, guys, thank you very much for your time and for your attention. And if you can make it, I look forward to seeing you soon. Cheers.